Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Oops. Okay. All right. All right. Welcome to the second half of our session tonight. Let's see. I'm going to open this to. Okay, great. So you can hear me. I'm going to open this to participation so we can ask questions and discuss. So if you're not able to, if I can't hear you, then just let me know and I will make sure that your audio is enabled. Okay, well, let me start, and I am recording this session, so okay, good. Yeah, I'm recording this session, so the session will be available to everyone who would like to review the materials and go through the steps of setting up their Nadex account and the charts. All right, let's start here. So, open my next station. So Google Chrome is working now, and I was able to log in to Nadex, so that's great. You know, Nadex is not so difficult to navigate once you have practiced taking the trades a few times. It's pretty straightforward. Again, I do recommend you install both both mobile versions on your phone, and if you have an iPad, install that there as well, just in case if the Nadix web-based platform that we see here is down or not working. The mobile platform is usually quite stable. The only thing is that the motions that you would go through to place a trade are a bit different. So just be aware of that. The interface is going to be unique. We have some very nice movement tonight. The markets, I hope we are going to have time to take a few trades. I'm pretty determined to take a few trades. Definitely will take it on a demo account. Some of you may know that I was doing demo trading on Nadex for the past couple weeks. And I just went to live, I think it was the day before yesterday. At first I felt very nervous because I wasn't sure if I was going to be successful with the trades as I was on my demo account. I was doing a lot of testing, especially just figuring out how Nadex works so I can give you some worthwhile signals. And so it's a lot of work. I had to open several accounts because they couldn't refresh the funds fast enough. So when I went to my live account, I was feeling very nervous. And now, so as of today, I don't even bother to open the demo account. I'm just have this here for your reference today. So I don't show my live account to everyone, but the demo account is here. It looks pretty much the same in live. The only thing is that it has a blue above instead of green. And so anyway, I was feeling nervous about going live, but now I just go live. And once you figure out how to use Nadex platform, just go live. And the first couple days, you're going to feel a little nervous, just like I did. And then that's going to wear off. That's how it is for me. I just start trading, trades, just do a few small trades and keep growing the consistency with placing winning trades, especially with the exercises that I mentioned earlier in the first session of the webinar. You'll be fine. So that's all it is. Once you go live, expect to lose a couple $100 the first couple of days, just because it's a little nerve-wracking when you go live with your real money. But then after that, it's pretty encouraging. All right, so we wanted to discuss setting up the trading platform and NetStation. I sent the NetStation link in the USA East Coast Trading Group Telegram chat. If you've gone there, you'll see the link, and then once you click there, it goes to a gray button on the NetDania site. You launch that. It's a Java web start application, so you might have to tweak it a little bit. Go on google.com for instructions on how to start a Java web start application. And there should be a couple of sites that show you, 1, 2, 3, how to locate the file, and so on and so forth. And you should be able to set it up. If not, feel free to private message me in Telegram chat and ask me how to set it up, and I will walk you through that. So once we have the NetStation Java Web Start application on our desktops, then we start with the charts. Okay. NetStation has so many features. The first one that we'll explore is setting up the tabs. So I click here on New and create a workspace name. Let's see. Okay. And that's going to give me this blank blackboard. Then we click on instruments, and these are all our choices for which kind of data providers we want to get our market information. We have FXCM, we have Interbank, we have IDC, which is Interactive Data Corporation. These are all private companies that gather market information. And as you'll notice, I've made tabs, individual tabs for each of them. Once you make a tab, you'll have to click Save As, and then put the same name in there. Okay. And that way, the next time that you open NetStation, this tab is always going to be there, and any charts that you have placed there are always going to be there exactly as you left them last time. At the end of each session, especially if you have added certain types of studies, then you want to come back to them exactly as they are, click Save before you exit NetStation, all right? And then you'll make sure that NetStation is remembering all your setups. So once we've added the data providers information, then we'll get these blank charts. Let me just go ahead and open a new blank chart. Okay. So it's not exactly what I wanted. Okay, oh, never mind. I guess I'll just delete. All right, so it's going to open a blank chart that's going to look pretty much like that. Not even with anything on it. And then we want to add the studies, which are the indicators that are going to tell us what is the probability of a particular trade working out. Then we go to click on studies, click on add a new study. And we have a couple of studies that are specifically designed for the reversals trends, or reversals trades, and the trend follow trades. For the reversals, we have at least the ones that I like to use in the USA Trading Group is the Elliott Wave Oscillator. I have this in my favorites. The Elliott Wave Oscillator. I'm going to click here. I'll show you how to set it up so that those are always there too. Arun, which is telling us if the trade is moving mostly in the down direction or mostly in the upward direction. I like to use Alligator. As we can see here, this 13 line, when the trade is moving down, and this is updated, as the trade, as the market price is moving. Once even if, as you can see here, once the market indications is showing to the algorithm behind this particular indicator that there's a downtrend happening, then this 13 line, which is blue in my NetStation. By the way, you can also change the colors of your indicators. Once it moves above the bars, then I know, don't even bother trying to place a trade in this trend going north. Okay, because in fact, in Nadex, when we see this bar that is going up, let's say if it was in the mostly in the 1 minute, well, 1 minute chart, you can't really see it at this point, but okay, let's just use a 30-second chart. So this is our money-making times for the trend follows, because we see that there's a clear downtrend, but the prices on Nadex are going to go to the extreme. So you're going to have it $1 for the highest and the $99 or $95 for the lowest in the price ladder. And because I see this line going down, excuse me, then I know I can take advantage on the next, either on the within this 5-minute candle or 5-minute timer, or on the next one, I can go and take advantage of the higher or the lower part of that price ladder, just depending on where the price has been last. Because what Nadex does is, as I mentioned before, it uses the price ladder and it'll move the price ladder depending on where the trade was last. So if the trade was up here, if the trade was down here, let's see, if it was like that, where it ended, if the trade ended up here, then the price ladder is going to be like that. If the trade ends down here, let's say right here, this one, then the price ladder is going to be lower. Okay, so if this trade has ended like that, okay, thinking, because the algorithm behind Nadex thinks that it's going to go upward, then I can take really great advantage of these higher bars, which are going to have higher prices like $80, $90, and I will have a greater chance of winning the downward trend, okay, and therefore greater return, greater percentage on my investment, okay. So long story short, this is how we get our indicators, and I'm going to X this particular study here just by clicking on this little X. So you should select the X and then click on this, or again click on delete individual items, or right click and then hit delete. So the studies, as I said, for reversals, I use Arun, I use Elliott Wave Oscillator, I use one type of Bollinger Band. It could be an adjusted Bollinger Band or the standard, which is 20-2. I will be letting everybody know which Bollinger Band I'm using. Sometimes it just makes sense to use a much thinner Bollinger Band to get better predictions. Okay. And I also use the stochastic, let's see, it's called the, let's see if I say R, oh, the parabolic SAR. I use this one for estimating the times, and these are like arrows. If some of you have experience with MT4, then you'll recognize the arrows that tell you if the trade is going down or up. It's kind of like the individual places of support or resistance for each of these bars. And if you look at them in aggregate, then you'll see, well, look, the time that it's going down is pretty much consistent in the opposite direction. Okay, so you see how these, we can even measure with this handy little ruler, if you can see. We can see this is 6 minutes this way and kind of 6 minutes that way, you see? So it's showing me that I can depend on taking this particular trade. Let's say if we had, trying to look for a little more time. Let's say here, all right? So let's say we have a trend or a reversal strategy, okay? And our reversals, we want to, let's say, go to the downside, okay? Here's our reversal situation. We have the line, okay, our resistance line. And let's just say that this particular pattern was going up and down, up and down, up and down, okay, for this amount of time. And I'm saying, okay, every time it hits this resistance level, then I'm going to place a trade, right? So what the parabolic SAR tells me is that I can keep on doing that kind of on a consistent basis for, let's measure here. Well, let's do this previous one. What does it matter? Okay, 17 minutes, all right? And notice we have 5-minute intervals, more or less, between each timer, for each timer. So for about 3 timers, I'd say, all right? Right here, we have 17 minutes. So let's see, let's use this example over here, because we were talking about trading. Okay, so that's 15 minutes here. That's 3 timers. All right. So I'm going to say, well, it's turn directions around here, and I'll place the reversal trend along that line to the downside, because that's the overall strength, okay, where the longest bars are happening. I'll do that for 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes is over, not more than 3 timers from now, I'm going to reevaluate the direction of the trade, okay, and plan a new direction. Okay, so you're going to have to look at a different place on that price ladder. So let's say when you were taking this or the to the downside for the past 15 minutes, you were focusing on the let's say on the lower bars. I think that's the way it goes. Then once you've reevaluated, you want to focus on the higher bars, because lo and behold, after those 15 or so minutes are over, okay, then what happens? The trade is going the other direction. You don't want to keep on going in the same direction when the market is going against you. So that's what I use the parabolic SAR for, not just for support and resistance for each bar that's happening, but also to kind of give me a time consistency. The next one we'll look at is the stochastic, let's see, stochastic RSI, stochastic RSI, relative strength, a stochastic relative strength index. You can find more about the meanings of these particular terminologies by going to investopedia.com. Investopedia.com. They have a pretty extensive resource there about all these types of indicators and how they were developed, who developed them, what they're used for, and so on and so forth. The good thing about NetStation is that it pretty much has all of the indicators you can imagine. And we access them by going to studies, as I showed you before, add new study, and we have all of these indicators here. Okay. And then we also have a separate tab for patterns. So for those of you who like to make your trading view a little bit easier by catching interesting, I don't know, call them talismans, but it kind of like signs that a particular pattern is happening overall, you can always select one of these and add them to your charts. Okay. This particular one, which has different names, it's someone pointed out to me the other day, is kind of racist. I don't know who in the world came up with this stupid name, but it pretty much selects 3 bars that have the same direction. Okay, and they call one of them 3 white soldiers and the other one 3 black crows. So, you know, on the old trading platforms, most of the bars, if it was a bar, an upside bar, then it would be a white bar, and if it was a downside bar, it would be a black bar. So some stupid person came up with white soldiers and black crows, which really is nasty. But anyway, that's one of the popular names for this this particular. It's not called a study; it's called a pattern. So the pattern pretty much says that if there's 3 bars that are consistently going in one direction, then it's very likely that the next bar, let's say the 4th bar after that, is going to be in the opposite direction. Or it's, you know, or it's going to continue that pattern. It all depends. You have to study your charts to see what's actually happening. I think what this is telling us here for this reversal is that after the 3 upside bars, then there's going to be another upside bar. So that's what's happening here. So I guess this would be useful in the 5 minutes chart. So because each of our timers at Nadex is 5 minutes, then we say, well, if there's 3 upside bars that are happening, the 5 minutes chart, then the next 5 minutes is also going to have a similar pip movement north. Okay. And the other one, the 3 downside bar pattern, it works in the exact same way. So this would be 3 downside bars. The next one is supposed to be going to the downside, right? So you can also do the same research about each of these studies and patterns on Investopedia. I recommend. There's a couple of other sites as well. I can post them all on the USA East Coast Trading Group Telegram chat. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, so let me erase this here after I show you what my charts look like for reversals. Okay, this is pretty much what my reversal setup looks like. Okay. Then for my trend follow, oh yes, let me go to this, I almost forgot. For the trend follow setup, we have the super trend, which shows the support and resistance for groups of bars. And we have, I still like to keep the Elliott wave oscillator because it's a good visual reference to where changes might happen, kind of an extra confirmation. The RSI, Relative Strength Index, and the CCI. We have instructions for each of these indicators in the trend follow as well as in the reversals. Basically, for trend follow, the guide is that you don't place any trades for a particular direction in a trend follow when the RSI is above 80 or 90. Some people set it to 90, or below 20 or below 10. It all depends on how much pip movement is going on, but basically that's it. So in NetStation, if you set this, let's say if you were to set it to, okay, there's a couple of things that I want to show you. I'll show you how to customize each of your charts. So let's say if you wanted to customize the RSI, see, add new study, just take an RSI. No, this one here. Okay, see it says here 30 and 70. So let's just say we want to say no trades below 20 and no trades above 80. So we just change this here. It's showing us that below 20 is going to be oversold. That means that the market is going to reverse at that point and go the opposite direction. No, and then it's going to show us 80 overbought. The market is going to reverse, go in the opposite direction. All right, so add. Okay, so there we have it. It's RSI. So when you have it on 70 and 30, you can see at the very tops, it's showing the red. So it's kind of giving you a little warning that it's above those parameters, or let's say below those parameters. The yellow line will be for the high and the purple line will be low. So don't place any trades once it goes above that line. All right. When it crosses, when the CCI and the RSI are crossing the lines, that's a good indication that there's a strong push in a certain direction. So you see here, it's crossing the CCI here, and it's crossing the RSI there, because it's really about to go on a really strong trend to the upside. The same thing happened over here on both the RSI and CCI. And these are the times that we want to catch the trends on Nadex. When we have those times of very strong movement, say crossovers like that. So the next thing I want to show you about setup for your NetStation chart is how to save these indicators in the NetStation view. Oh yes, there's one more indicator I want to show you. It's a weighted moving average, WMA. Weighted moving average. This one. All right. Most of our periods are sent to 7 usually, and we create 2 of them. Okay. Let's see. We have to set one to opens at 7. Okay, add. Let me just erase this one. Sometimes we have to change these settings, so bear with me. Okay, it's going to say weighted moving average again. Okay, I think we choose that. So closes at 7. Add. Okay, all right. So again, for trend follows, we want to pay attention to when there's crossovers. And in this case, for the trend follows, if there's a crossover of both moving averages, then that means that it's going in the opposite direction, of course. In other words, a new trend direction is going to take place. When there is more than 2, when there's 2 or more changes, when they cross, let's say right here, cross this way, and then cross back that way, we should stop taking trades and let the market figure itself out until it figures exactly where the next trend is going to continue. Okay. So last thing about setting up your charts, right click on one of your indicators, and there should be a link here. Because of this, the fact that this one says, I've already added them to the charts, then it's showing that. Let me right click and then remove from favorites. Okay, so it'll show exactly what you'll see. All right, so I click here, set as favorite. Right click, set as favorite. Do this for each and every one of your indicators so that it always will show up in this list here when you open NetStation. That way, when you start with a new chart, then you can just click on these one after the other, or remove them also, just as easy. You can also go here to manage favorites, and let's say you start with a new chart. You don't want to keep on having to click and open this thing and check each and every one of these boxes, because it closes right after you add it or take away. So instead, go to manage favorites, and it'll pull up all your favorites, and I'll just add them here. Add to chart, add to chart. Okay. So you can add them all in one sitting. Don't click remove. It's just going to remove it from favorites. So you can't remove the indicators from the favorites dialog. You have to remove it either by clicking this X to remove all objects and studies, or you can click this individual X so you can select them and just get rid of them one after the other. It kind of works like Photoshop. All right, so give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back so we can start taking a couple of trades. All right, so I'm back. And I will start taking a couple of trades here. Okay. Let's go to our 1 minute. Tonight, it looks like we have a reversal set up. Very nice one, in fact. Chill. Feeling kind of chill in my home office. Hold on a moment while I set up my space heater. All right. Hopefully the fan doesn't make too much of a noise. So open your Nadex accounts and we'll practice with a couple of trades. Okay, let's say here's the USA Trading Group window, and see if we can fit everything on one. In fact, let me just isolate this particular trade window. I click on pin or unpin right here, detach frame. So I can pull this out and then move this over to my other screen. Okay. That way we're focusing only on this one here. Oops. Let's put on right. Set it up for oh yes, the stochastic RSI. I meant to tell you about that as well. That should also be in your reversals setup. I use it mostly for the higher time frames to see how many confirmations I get in the 5 minutes and 10 minutes and 15 minutes and hourly chart. Let's see here. Why isn't this responding? Okay. Yeah, so see how this is showing the upward movement? It's practically telling me that the overall trend is upward. So my best bets are probably to place trades, call trades, or in the case of Nadex, it would be buy trades. And I look at the 10-minute time frame, see the incline is not that great, but there's still an upward movement. It might continue and then head back down. Let's see. Go to the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart is telling me that it's pretty much at the top of its game here as far as the upward movement. Slightly downturn, but usually what happens is it goes back that way, as you can see here. So it'll show oversold, and the market recovers slightly and then keeps on going that direction. So when I see that pretty much all of the time frames have that upward movement in the stochastic RSI, then that makes me feel quite confident about placing the trades within the lower time frames to the upside. And as we can see here, as I've described it, the upward movement, because that is the overall strength of the market at the moment, those are the ones with the largest bars, okay, greatest pips, PIP stands for points in percentage. Okay. Write that down here. Points percentage. For the US dollar to the Japanese yen, the points and percentage are measured as the second let's see here. See, this is a point in percentage, 79, 77, 75, 73, 71. Okay, it's the second decimal point after this, after the point here. So in the yen, the points in percentage or pips are calculated based on the change in the second number to the left of the period. For Euro USD, the points in percentage is measured by the fourth number. The fourth number. So when I'm placing the call sign or the sell signs, the signals in USA Trading Group, I will focus on this last number, okay, mostly. For Euro USD, the last two numbers. So I'll say, let's just say this was an actual trade going on right now. How much time we have? We have 1 minute left. Let's just say it's going to continue to go. Well, it should go up in the next bar. Let's just say it's continued to go down. So I'll put here, sell S at, where is it now? 71. Okay, sell at 71. So all you do is you click here. Oh, and now I was right. So click here. That's one thing about this web-based platform. Sometimes it's just so slow. It's better to use a mobile platform. But anyway, for the purpose of practice, here we are. Click here and then press how much the size that we want. Okay. If that was $50, we would have to have invested $50, and we would be getting back $50, as long as the point of percentage is at or below. Okay, so if it is at the money, like if it is at 71, then that still counts as being in our favor, since we've chosen the sell option. If it was 71.3 or 71.1, then that counts out of our favor. I spoke to the Nadex rep specifically about this, and they said at the money is in favor of the sell trades. If it is more, even by one decimal point, then it is in favor of the buyer. And they don't round the numbers. So it's just exactly how you see it. So when I send this signal, I say this is going to continue in the downward trend. We click refresh to see the new timer and the new positions. Okay. I'll say, I like to wait until the price is nice and hefty, but because we're in the downward trend, then this particular price is not going to be that great because it's pretty close. 69 is like right there, right here. So give it 5 minutes. If you have, 2 pips per bar, it's probably going to hit that. So that's why the price is lower. If it's at 65, then that means you'll get back $35 for your investment. So not a great investment. 67, however, if this price goes on a spree, okay, and hits this point, then good for us, right? And it's going to be requiring a $10 investment per trade, or in this case, $8, okay? And then even though I've placed that trade, and if this continues to go down and it's moving in my favor, then we'll see this profit loss increase. Okay, it'll turn green. And what I say, especially for the beginning, when we have small accounts, we should just take profit. As soon as we see that, you know, we're getting back our initial investment, just take the profit. We'll see this happen right now. Okay. And then I click here to get ready, and I'm going to click on the opposite side. Okay, see we have 16. How much did we invest? We invested about $20. So click here and then click place order. Okay. So we just earned a full, let's see, 100%. Actually, more than 100%, more like 100 and, I don't know, 105 or something like that on our trade, as opposed to the measly 70%. If we really know that the trade is going to work out, let's say it's probably going to work out. Let's see here, 670. It could. With one more minute to go, the next bar could very well move in that direction. Let's see here. Yeah, that's where it's going. Okay, it has to be at 670. We had it at 67, so let's see if let's just, for the sake of it, see if this expires in the money at the end of the trade. I want to show you the reason why it's good to exit early. On the last minute or so, the last half, 2.5 minutes of the 5-minute timer, the least amount of volatility can happen, okay? Sometimes the volatility increases in the last 50 seconds, but most of the time what I've seen is the volatility decreases significantly because people start reversing, going in the opposite direction. So we see here, this is going to 68 where we were at 67. So it was really good that we got out of that trade because we would have been out of the money, see? But even though I knew that, I mean, most likely I was thinking in my mind as I was creating the signal that it's probably not going to work out to the end of the timer. However, we can still recover that 100+% of our investment. So let's take it. Why not, right? We invested a very little amount, $10, or rather it was like more like $8 per trade. And then we got back more than $10 as a result of our trade, just exiting the trade, not waiting till the end of the timer, okay? So that's how you place trades on Nadex. The placements for buying trades, it works exactly the same. I'm going to send a signal that looks like B at, let's see right here, let's just say, I don't know, 69, whichever is cheapest. I like to try to do the top two. These are going to increase. Usually what happens is that they decrease first and then they increase as the prices are going in the direction. So this price here that you see in the buy section is going to show you exactly how much you're investing. Okay. So 22, we can click on just a couple of these for fun. $9, so it's kind of similar to what we had there with the other trade. Make sure that you click on the price box before placing your trade so that the most current price shows. Okay. If not, it's not going to work out. Again, when you select a trade, make sure that you open the option again to get ready to exit the trade. Okay. Just in case. Well, in this case, you always want to have it open because you want to make sure that you're not, you can get out in time. Sometimes if someone is not offering the other side, and say here, no one believes at this point in time that there is going to be a reversal. They just think it's going to continue to go down, which is very possible thanks to these indicators, which are showing all the same. Okay. So they're not going to be offering you to redeem your trade. That's why there's nothing here on this side. But those trades which are offering, let's say if these are losing trades in this case, then you can still recover some of what you invested, even though it's not in the money at the time. But let's say you went in at